Hi, welcome back to MDriven. Today's topic is UI override, and when you want to override just a few things and not everything, and that's what we call a content override. So there's a checkbox for each column that you could turn on, the content override checkbox, and what it does is to signal to the logic that generates the UI if it should do anything special or not. So if I have checked the UI override, I'm gonna show you how it could look in the VPF turnkey fat client. Find that UI, which was the view UI override, and in the fat client I override them. I implement the method, and if I haven't done anything, it will just show the standard edit box. But if I remove this I have prepared, so it will do something else instead. When it hits the UI override column, I have now implemented, and this you can do yourself, that it instantiates a control, and user control, that has a dependency property that is number of leaves. And when the number of leaves change, I will invalidate my drawing area, and when my drawing area is invalidated, I will draw something new based on the new data. And I instantiate the control and I mix it in with the UI, and just as the meta information tells me. And I'm gonna see how that looks. Yeah, here I bind to the number of leaves. So this is actually the view model column that you saw there. So whenever I add things to this list, which is the expression that I have, the number of leaves on the flower will change. And of course this works for undo and redo, so everything is data bound together and no need to check anything extra. Just hook up the data with data bind and everything works as it should. We have also an implementation for the Angular app that works completely different, of course, but we need to do the same thing. I'm no JavaScript expert, so I just took something that I found, and this was a star. It's close enough. So as you can see, they are synced since they look at the same data. What we're gonna do is to look closer on how to implement the Angular UI override control. But just to verify that this works the same way, adding things and clearing them. Okay, let's look how this is implemented. In the content override and column, there's a tagged value. The tagged value is Angular UI override. This is the important tagged value for this. And here I simply have a CSHTML file name. And that file name I will find in my web application, and you can upload this to your own applications once you have built them. And this is the exact same file name, nothing strange here. I have a bunch of other files, but those are from other examples, so you don't need to bother with those. Let's open this up in Visual Studio to see what's in it. This is the HTML. It's a canvas and it's a H1 header, and there is a div. And this is what you do to bind in Angular. You need that's the data there. You set data dot number of leaves. That's all you do, and then it's regular Angular binding. So if I change the text there just to prove a point and reloads, you will see that it's the same. So anything you can do with Angular you can do in your UIOverride controls. That trigger to redraw is a div that's placed, and what I wanted to do is to react to when the data change somewhere. So I did a mutation observer, and that's connected to the trigger to redraw. And whenever data changes in trigger to redraw, I simply call my script draw star. And the spikes symbolizes the number of leaves. So if I change my script background color, you can see that it's really the script that runs. So it's very easy to create your own UI controls, both in VPF or in Angular. And this is a good thing, because if you think about making your controls generic, you only need to match your view model names to your generic controls. So then you can reuse your controls all over if you want to. And this is what we call a pattern matching, that you have a pattern that a specific control needs in order to draw properly, and use that pattern and hook up the control, and everything should work. And of course you would need to do, if you want both VPF and Angular, you would need to do 2 controls. We have no workaround for that, but this ability allows you to avoid overriding the whole page if it's only part of the page that you want to override. Okay, thanks for listening, and please subscribe if you like this and if you want to catch more of MDriven Turnkey. Thank you.